Okay, hey guys, Amigas, thanks so much for joining us. Usually we do these interviews over Zoom, but I'm lucky enough to have Onie with me here, and we're in the same spot in her dojo, and she'll tell you a little bit more about that. There's class going on in the background, so you might hear a little punching and kicking action, but I am so glad that I've gotten a chance to have Onie here with me. Mostly because I get a chance to get to know her a little bit more, just like you do. So, Onie, if you want to just start out and tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe how you got to this point to sitting in a dojo as a female entrepreneur with working with your husband. So, as far back as you want to go, if you want to just give us a couple minutes here.
Okay. When I was little, I wanted to be a school teacher, which that never panned out. And then I went into school for medical, which is so funny because I don't do anything in it. I graduated with that. I had 2 kids, me and my husband. And then my husband actually got talked into doing taekwondo with our son. Because our son was little and he was getting kind of like picked on and stuff, and my mother-in-law was like, send him up for taekwondo and I'll pay for it. She never paid for a single lesson, but we got my son in it, and then I signed my husband up in it, so they both have been doing it now since Peyton was 5 and he's 24.
Oh my God.
I got into it in 2003 after I moved to Sugar Land. My husband was already doing this for a living. I did not see myself doing that. In fact, I worked in dental. And then when we moved to Lincoln, I worked for the government. And then when we moved to Sioux Falls for him, I was working in Telecrest Plasma Resources. And I kept telling him, I'm not happy. I want to go back to teaching. I know I never wanted to do it. Now I want to do it. And he goes, why don't you just teach here? So I started teaching here full time back in 2011 and been doing it ever since. I really enjoy it and I love working with the kids.
That's, I think a lot of women can relate to, one, probably not really going into the profession that their education is in, but kind of their career evolving over time. With the gym, how did you and your husband get, because you both, and correct me if I'm wrong, you started more working for the gym and then have kind of been been gaining ownership or interest in the gym. Tell me a little bit about that journey.
When my husband first started, they asked him if he'd ever want to own his own Tae Kwon Do Academy, and that was his ultimate goal. So we went to Sugar Land for 5 years, he basically learned how to run a business and everything like that. When we moved to Lincoln, he learned more of the marketing. And then when we moved here, we were running the academy, and they told us we had to meet a certain goal, and if we met that goal, we could start seeing about buying the academy. We met that goal, and we have been owners now for a little over a year.
That is so fantastic. And I know that even throughout that process, you guys have certainly felt the ownership. What has, maybe kind of speaking as an entrepreneur, what has maybe been the toughest part of that journey for you? Or maybe not something that's been tough, but something you just didn't expect from that?
I would say we didn't expect so many different fields of our career, because like if somebody gets hurt, you have a medical person. If somebody throws up, you have a janitor person. If somebody, there's all kinds of things that come along with owning the business, doing the books, and stuff like that, and then also coming up with what we're teaching, how we're teaching it and stuff. It makes it a little difficult, but it's fun.
Yeah, as the owner-operator, you are the everything. Now, I want to talk a little bit about mentorship, which is clearly, our platform of Amigas. We talk a lot about just that mentors are all around us. And for people like myself who did not grow up around martial arts, if you can kind of explain how mentorship is just a part of the journey of going through martial arts, and whether that's taekwondo or other sports.
With mentorship, we have people that get anxiety about learning how to spar. They're not comfortable with it. We sit down, we explain it, we see what the root cause of why they're so scared of sparring, because it's really not that scary. We also have teenage girls that come in. Believe it or not, they have a lot of issues that go on, and they can't talk to their parents, and they don't feel comfortable talking to other friends about it, and they just want to talk to an adult that will just sit there and listen and know where they're coming from. So that's what we do too. We try to help everyone if we can.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I know that there are, your academy is pretty large in size. The number of girls and women that come through on an annual basis is just amazing. So for them to have that experience is great. What do you think are some of the things that need to be true to have that kind of mutual respect in a mentor-mentee relationship? Because like you're saying, these teenage girls might be coming in. What kinds of things do you do to set the scene to allow them to kind of feel open enough to maybe talk to someone?
What we do is we teach our classes. We treat everyone like family, because to us, everyone is family. I have 2 boys, never had girls, have 3 sisters. So I kind of know like how girls are. I don't know. I think the main thing is letting them know that you're always here for them. And I have some that come in and they're like, Miss Donnell, can I talk to you after class? I just want to talk to, and I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I'll meet with them after class and we'll talk about whatever is on their mind.
Yeah, that openness, that's certainly really important. I think, being a female entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that can come up. Like you said, you kind of have to be everything in the business. Is there something in particular you say why it would be important for a female entrepreneur to have a mentor? Whether it be personally or in their business?
I think just to get a different perspective on the way things come about and come around. It's always nice to have like that mentorship from another woman, because sometimes I don't always think of everything, especially in my house. Everyone's a boy except for the dogs and me. So if I ever want a female's perspective, I do have female employees that I can go to and ask questions on. I also have people higher up than me that I can ask questions to that are female.
Yeah, and that's really great. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to mention about mentorship or being an entrepreneur? I know this is, I'm so glad to have your time, but just to make sure we can cover anything else that was on your mind.
I really enjoy teaching the martial arts to the kids and everything, and I think that they really enjoy it, and it's a great environment because, like I said, we treat everyone like family. They treat us like we're like their parents sometimes. Like some days they're mouthy, some days they're good. It just depends on the kid. I just really like the environment.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we got to chat. I think mentoring fellow female entrepreneurs through their journey is important, but some of the work that Onie's doing as far as mentoring our young ladies is going to be equally as important for them to feel confident and able to accomplish anything they want to in life. So glad that you're here doing that for so many. Thanks, and we'll see you next week, amigas.